Okay, babe. Let's say that you and me were in a VR, e-relationship.
I would run the other way.
Wait. I'm going to make it fun. I want you to describe the body type you would give me as your personal avatar. What would I look like, babe? Come on.
Like, you would probably be a girl.
What?
And then I'd run the other way.
You know what? Yeah.
You have now joined the It Couple Podcast Show. Let me introduce our hosts, Laura and Xavier.
Hello, everyone. This is Laura here.
And this is Xavier. And welcome to another episode of the It Couple Podcast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we don't have to put the podcast part in there. They know.
Okay. Hopefully you do. For the topic of the day, I kind of just thought of this as we were driving yesterday.
The other day.
Yep. And it was something that I've noticed. So this is definitely coming from me, from my perspective. It's something I've noticed happen a little bit more often. And this actually piggybacks on another episode we had, which was our online friends, or something of that.
This one just takes it a step further.
Exactly. And that is pretty much to sum it all up.
We are going to discuss online relationships, I guess, or
pretty much. The topic will be
like relationships, as in like dating kind of things.
As whatever comes out, whatever. Most of the topic, like the titles, come after we do our podcast, and this seems like the best way to kind of. So what did we talk about? And it kind of pinpoints it there. So instead of doing it before, doing it after, like, okay, so that's where the conversation just kind of went to.
Yeah.
Because we ramble a lot, and I just had to sum it all up. Okay, so together we pretty much just talked about this subject. So this is what you're gonna listen to this time.
Okay, so why don't you start off with why you decided to have this as a topic?
Okay, now for a long time I have been a gamer, a very long time.
Yep. I mean, we were pretty big into WoW when we first met. World of Warcraft.
Yeah. Before that,
and even then, we would meet people that were like in completely different countries that were dating each other. And I actually have a friend who met someone in World of Warcraft, and they ended up got married, and they're still married. Yeah. We saw them. They came over here not too long ago. They did.
And even after that, a lot of people probably remember there was a story done by some station. I can't remember who did it, but it was about the game called Life or something like that. Basically, it was like it was a game that where you could make your character and be with people, and basically just kind of like a very social game. One of a very big and popular one at the time, and they had two people that they had an online relationship that was online only. They did try to move to and live with each other, and that didn't work out. And as far as I know, they just returned to continuing their relationship at their separate places.
I'm sure there's a lot of those kind of stories out there.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that
where they met and then they were like, no, never mind. Yeah, I mean, even like I've been a part of it before. Obviously, I met you and got married to you. I was on like dating apps and stuff, and I met a couple people on there, and even though like, oh, you're a match, once you meet them, sometimes you're just not.
Yeah, I know. Wait, the one thing I think about, here's what kind of gets me. That story was nearly, I want to say, at least a decade ago when they ran that about that couple. Who knows what's going on with their lives now? And I don't plan to do any follow up or any research. Welcome to the It Couple. We do not do research.
It's so funny, because they met online in a game, it was newsworthy or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, think of how many people meet each other all the time and date and then are like, no, but it's not newsworthy.
Oh, okay, well, pull it back 10 years ago, and then think how the aging news is. When there's that meme now when there's these two, I guess we call them pundits, and they were talking about, they were asking someone, what is the internet? That was a line that was actually said on news. So they're always behind the curve. But think about 10 years back, and this was newsworthy. nowadays,
I don't know if it's really changed according to the news. Because, I mean, you hear all the time where news, the news is still talking about like online relationships like they're not a legit thing.
Yes. And part of me socially kind of thinks that a lot of people kind of pick
these
up
aren't
on
your
that.
friends. You can't be friends with these people. You've never met them.
Exactly. Like, these are just people you meet online. You should go out there and actually meet people. And it's like, I think for a while, even I had to kind of struggle with it mentally myself, because, that's not the normal way that you meet and talk to people. Yet, what kind of boggles my mind is you get to have more, like your Netflix,
well, it's
like your
normal
movies.
For our generation still. We're the older millennials, I guess.
Well, yes, but okay, think about it this way. Like your Netflix and your movies, you can actually nowadays, because it's digital, you can organize your time for that occasion. Like, you can have a social time block and be social. You can't do that IRL or real life. To say, okay, well, I'm going to talk to a group of people at 5:45. I'm going to talk to a group of people. I don't know.
I mean, we used to do AOL chat, and
that's so digital.
Well, yeah, but or how about like the multi-way phone calls or whatever?
I guess that's not digital technically. That's analog. But but imagine you at 5:45, you're going to go to a bar and you're going to talk to someone. And you, the introvert, think about you going into a bar.
I met with people all the time at a specific time.
Okay. Then I'll give you that. You've met people at a specific time.
Even the dating apps I was talking to you about, where we'd be like, oh, hey, okay, we chatted online. Then we're like, all right, let's meet now, and so we'll set a date and a place.
You're going back to the online. I think you're missing the point. What I'm saying is they fill this social hole. Let's compare now to the 70s.
Huh?
Okay.
Neither of us were born or live then.
But you'll get the logic. Okay. You're going to meet up with someone at 5:45.
Okay.
This means these other people that you're going to meet, if you already know them, have to know what time to be there. Maybe you don't know anybody. There was a wonderful
thing called the phone.
Maybe you don't know anybody, and you're going to meet up with people at 5:45. Let's add the fact you don't know anybody. Can you meet with a bunch of random people and start a conversation at a specific time?
Yes. They would put it in the newspaper and be like, okay, we're having a meetup.
You're just trying to fight me with this argument?
Yes, I am. I mean, I'm just saying, there are ways. There are ways.
Okay, but it is easier now. But it is easier now. She's just trying me on this one. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not crazy here. This is hard to do now. I can't just go down to Ybor and just go in there like, hey, how are you guys doing?
The difference is that it takes a lot less time and planning now, and it's a lot more convenient and easier and more immediate resolve. Whereas then, like, you had to be like, okay, I am going to hold this event at this time, and I'm going to put it in the local newspaper or send out flyers. I mean, think about it, like, with parties when, we were kids. I mean, I was homeschooled, but still, like, I knew about the whole parties with kids, and they would hand out flyers to each other and things like that. I mean, that was a way to set up a time and meet kind of place without doing it digitally. So it took a lot more, killed a lot more trees, and
yes. Okay.
It took more time, and those
using World of Warcraft as a very much aged analogy. When we need to search for a group, we can put ourselves into a queue, and we'd be put into a random queue of group, and without really knowing anybody, you'll say hey and hello and all that other stuff, and then you'll move on to start doing hello. I can't talk. I got bubbles coming out of my mouth as I'm talking. But you start a conversation with a group of strangers very quickly, and typically with those situations, you're giving 4 strangers, and just kind of given to you digitally. Now, I think I want to try to tie us back into the original thing for this was about relationships, and how, let's say if you have a difficult time trying to get that connection or get that close of a connection in real life, are we going to see more and more of this being a normal thing? Not just,
Well, I mean, more and more of our lives are on the internet now.
Yes.
You know? I mean, people all the time, they're looking at their phone more than they're having a conversation with a person across the table from them.
I even got that line and had an excellent response. I'm going to throw this out there. So a certain someone that you're related to had said this line, what are you doing on your phone? You should go and talk to someone. And I just kind of, I just wasn't, I guess, having it in my head. So I just said, like, well, I really don't have anything that I relate to or people really want to listen to. I don't have a topic offered like for this group here. Like, oh, well, you should, just get off the phone and talk. That's all you got to do. Like, okay, well, sit down and talk to me. Oh, I'm over here. Like, well, there was the window right there. We're talking. I say, sit down, let's talk. And then you go away. Like, no, I'm done. I'm going back on my phone. Goodbye. But yeah, that's threw that in there. So online relationships. Do you think that is a real thing? You don't ever have to meet up, or if you do, you spend predominantly most of the time.
Let's go back
online.
to the basics, right? Okay.
All right.
What constitutes a relationship?
Well, I guess, yeah. I guess maybe I need to be more, because friendships or relationships.
Well, no, I don't even mean that. I mean, yes, relationships come in a variety of forms. That when we're talking about relationship, we are going to be discussing
romantic in nature,
dating, and things like that.
Yeah.
So anyhow, now let's go to, okay, do we feel like a relationship is just when you have a connection with somebody, when you're able to talk with them, chat with them, or whatever, and you have like a connection, and is that a relationship?
An emotional attachment. So can you have an emotional attachment via, I guess, a limited media versus touching the person? Yes, of course.
Well, yeah, I think so too. Well, it's like I growing up, I had pen pals, and I would chat with these people. I would learn about these people. Yes, it was a lot slower. We
were talking pen pals. Pen pals. With a pen.
And
an
paper.
Pen.
I would put into an envelope, put a stamp on it, and mail to somebody.
I feel like
mail.
We should be describing this in reverse. What is pen pal?
I was like 9 or 10, and it's like, yeah, I had pen pals, and I remember, I don't remember how I found it, but I somehow found a pen pal. There's some program where it was another kid my age, and we both loved horses. And there, so I started chit-chatting with this person, and I got to know them. They told me about their family, and, and I told them about, mine, and, things like that. This was long before I ever had the whole, be careful about
who you meet online. Actually, that was
before we didn't have a computer at that point in my household.
I do remember that was before even people start alerting people about it. Like that was before the news got a hold and started thinking we should be cautious. But yeah, it was a free for all.
They knew my address.
Free for all.
I put my address on the envelope. They knew it.
Yeah, but we didn't have that security. We didn't think that way. I remember this,
my mom knew that I was doing this. She was the one that helped me find this whole thing. Yeah. It was a total thing.
I remember going on the messenger and talking to random people. And
well, yeah, even once we finally did get a computer, I did that too. I used to join chat groups all the time. What was it? ASL? Age, sex, location.
Yes. That's actually much older than most people probably realize. Here's something. This is gonna throw out there. Throw this out. So, as I have noticed in our current realm, we have more access to different types of social, pathways. I guess you can say encounters. Yeah, there's thousands of games that people can play and have a common interest and talk to each other. World of Warcraft is just one that we name, but there's RuneScape and who knows what you got.
The thing is, honestly, I feel like it just took stuff we already did in real life, and put it into a digital world. It's not
different and wild.
You go to a club and you meet a bunch of people, and some you like, some you didn't. You exchanged numbers or you didn't, or whatever. It's the same thing as not walking, but joining a group online and be like, hey, some of them you might be like, oh, hey, could we chit chat more on the side or call you or whatever. When I was younger, that was something I did. Like if there was someone I, liked on there or whatever, then it would be like, oh, hey, let's exchange numbers and call. And so I would then talk to them on the phone.
And I'll be on the guy's side. It's like, there was this little game we played, and that was about who can get the most phone numbers. And that was a good, fun game, and I encourage like everybody to play it. Well, I'm not sure if people play that now. That's all.
Are you kidding? We're very cautious about who we hand out numbers to now.
Well, yes, we are careful about who we hand out numbers, but
when our daughter comes to us and like, oh, I want to get the number of my friend. And I'm like, I don't want to give anybody my number. No,
but it's not about numbers now. It's not about numbers now. You can talk via Facebook.
I know,
Hangouts, and
although they're getting rid of Hangouts.
Why we even name Hangouts? That isn't even popular. So Facebook, Snapchat, and I don't know, Discord, yeah. Or your favorite games. In fact, when I start playing games, people start questioning me for, hey, what's your Discord? I don't know, but I'll figure this thing out. I feel like old grandpa
Facebook,
here.
Twitter,
Yeah, exactly. That's like, oh, whatever. And then I put it together and then profile. And it's just like, this is how I'm predominantly communicating with more people than my cell phone. Before, even the cell phone was kind of like, a brand new tech. And I guess kind of what I try to, I have a difficult time wrapping my head is, how is the future going to expand on this? Because this is already expanding in this area.
Well, you think that the people who first were introduced to a phone at all?
Oh, no, I totally do. I know.
Like they didn't go like, oh my God, like this, what's going on? And this is the future and what's going to happen? I mean,
can you imagine? There had to be one guy sitting in a parking lot with a flat tire and like, oh, yeah, I'm over here. I got a flat. But I'm at the parking lot. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm in front of the cars. You have a payphone by your car? Like, no, I'm in the middle of the parking lot. This is amazing. I have a cell phone. That was a big.
I don't even mean a cell phone. I mean, like, back in the day where only really rich people got a phone put into in there, and they would have to like, okay, one ring meant it was grandma and grandpa, or, 3 rings meant it was this person, and only like maybe 5 people in an entire town had phones, installed into their
and
homes.
These very fancy homes too.
Right?
So this was not something for you plebeians out there. This was more for the.
So like, I mean like that far back when like, Alexander Graham Bell and all them like tested it for the first time.
Yeah, but in a way, I guess what I kind of get baffled with this is now that we're kind of moved that we have been moving in this direction on there, and
or even like Morse code. That was a thing before the phones were.
Yes, okay.
A way for us to communicate.
And now that we're moving in this direction, think about the next thing that comes along with dating. And that's dating advice. And then there's like, people who try to give you the hookup or give you tips. So like, here's how you talk to a girl. Do we need an updated version of that now? Like, as far as like, okay, so you're looking for, I don't know, for the guys out there, an e-girl, someone who's, online you can talk to and have conversations that you'd want to have with your e-girl.
Well, it's like I had a pen pal, I mean, it was because I wrote using a pen or a pencil, and then mailed it to them.
And you didn't need much advice for that. So, but for a lot of these people, they're like, they're talking, they're engaging, they're looking for these types of relationships. And then that's the part that probably surprises me. But there was a
certain way that you I mean, I didn't just scribble scrabble in there. I put dear the person's name, comma, and then, I put.
So you followed a format.
Yeah, exactly. And then it ended it with
someone else created.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, what you're saying, I think, is like,
there's no format. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, there's no format at all online.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to come to. So here we are, going into this new age of different type of dating.
I honestly, truly believe that the freaking online world needs to be considered its own world with rules and laws. Governing body.
And maybe not governed by old people. Let me just say that strongly. Because
they don't understand it.
We do need rules and laws, but I do feel like these old fogers don't know what they're doing. And even though I feel like an old foger, no, I'm talking about these ancient, legends of the Hidden Temple people that are just, need to be dusted off or something. This let them sit on the shelf. Let them sit on the shelf and just stop making,
the ones that are in Congress and asking Google CEO
about their iPhone.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. And he's answering the question as from the technical aspect of your average IT guy, which I'm pretty sure there's people who are in the IT spectrum who saw that. And I had to say something when that happened. I already had our podcast on that because it's just like, I feel like I could have went in there like, don't waste your time, Zuck. This is what's wrong.
Well, that was Facebook.
Yeah. But they had both of them up there.
I know.
I can't think of the other guy's name.
I don't know either.
Goodness. But there were important issues there. Really important issues.
But they couldn't get beyond
the bare basics.
They couldn't get beyond the letter A to get to Z. It was just crazy.
Exactly. Let's say like your computer, your PC itself is making a weird, strange beep. And then you get one of these guys, and they are just speculating everything else around there. Have you tried kicking it? Have you tried like turning it up and down or whatever? And he takes the actual guy who knows what he's doing, like it's probably giving you a warning, something in your BIOS. If you actually log in, press F12, and you can probably see what's going on. Without that know-how, you'll never get to the problem. And that's the problem with that. Anyway, why do we throw this into this conversation? We're talking about relationships.
But we're talking about the digital world. And, the thing is, like, I don't think we're ever going to really be able to get to that part with some people, some generations, because it's hard. It's like we still try to deal with the whole where...
Because we're always the later generation who's always teaching the other. Like, 'cause, like, even as, as the new generation who's used to using this, there's going to be something else, and then they're doing the same thing that we're doing.
Even for us, it's really hard, because we still, to think about a digital, relationship fully on there, and, the conversation we were having in the car, which maybe we'll eventually get to in this conversation.
I want to get there.
I know. We're getting there. But, I mean, even that is like, it boggles our minds. So, it's just, it's always going to be that way. But I feel like if we're open-minded to the fact that, like, as technology changes, our society needs to change with it, too. And what is acceptable, now might not have been acceptable then, but that doesn't make it wrong.
Yeah. So anyway, so we can move on to the next area, because I definitely want to go there.
All right.
One, please leave a comment. Send us an email. What are your thoughts on this topic? We definitely have ours. I think we have a consensus. We do believe that relationship, internet relationships, online relationships are relationships, regardless of whether they're just
a different kind.
Exactly.
You have a relationship with a friend, you have a relationship with family, you have a relationship with coworkers. Now you have a relationship with people online.
Yeah, but maybe you think you're differently, or maybe you agree and we're missing a point. We probably will. But go ahead and leave us that. You can find our email probably somewhere on our site. If you're listening to us, just click one of the links. It'll send you directly to us, and then we'll love to hear from you. Moving on to the next topic, let's get into the romance area of this, because that's the next big question. I'll let you take over for this.
Well, why? You're the one who had the experience with your VR chat, and like that's really what made us go like, what?
Well, okay. Now we're doing VR chat, in which I will let everyone know too. I have a never have I ever plan. It'll be on a later bonus podcast, so look out for that. But something I've realized, and this is why what hit me the most, because I've been away from gaming. I don't consider myself a gamer anymore. I may play games, and you can loosely say I'm a gamer. But how many games have I actually purchased within the last 6 months?
Yeah, well, that's because they're expensive.
Well, that's because you won't allow me. But
we still have the PlayStation 3, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which I still don't regret that purchase. We bought the PlayStation 3 when the PlayStation 4 came out.
Yes.
And we got the best deals on games. Yeah. Everything I missed out. It was amazing. Anyway, we are living behind the times on video games.
Yeah.
But coming in playing this game, and this is kind of like, it's a free to play game. I can jump to it and talk to whoever I want to.
Which we don't have a VR system yet either. We're saving up for one.
Which, for other people out there, you don't need a VR system.
Having VR chat.
Having a decently powered computer, decently powered, would definitely help. Going on, what this game is, there's no shooting, there's no fighting, there's no no stages that you go through. It's a lot of just people who go into this game. They create the worlds, they create their own characters, they create weird functions that they do. If you haven't heard about it, you're probably in the older generation. And if you look it up in any other form, it's going to look extremely cringy. What I can say is that you see a lot of people trying things out with talking to each other, social interactions. That's the heart of the game.
I mean, I feel like the best way to probably describe it is it's kind of like Facebook, but like with characters.
Yeah, Facebook Live. Like Facebook Live. So to get down to the point, as I've been playing this very weird social game, one thing I've encountered amongst friends that I've had online, and friends are friends, online friends are friends. And one thing I've realized is I've more than once been around people who are couples. They live states away, countries away, and
they're e-couples.
They're e-couples, yes. And now I have my title. Yes. Let me just see if I can find that clip, and then that's our title. Yes. Let's see. So I'm meeting up with e-couples, and what I am noticing from these e-couples is what you see from people in relationships. And I'm not talking about just the pretty, they're hanging off each other, whatever. It's the private complaints. It's like, oh my God, like he just won't stop or whatever. Or, oh no, what she's doing. Like, she said she's going to be back there. And like, this sounds so familiar. Like, this is what actual people do in a relationship. Like, this is like so surreal. Like, this is more like, as we've seen relationships in World of Warcraft, I never see it play out as close to live as this does.
But I mean, we do talk about like World of Warcraft. You talk about how they sometimes use the economy to test out things that could happen in real life.
Yeah.
Like where because it has its own working world economy, financially, that they see the world or real life applications being played out in there.
Yeah,
so it might be a game, but there are still functions, the things that function in real life that then function also there as well. So I think that this is kind of the same way as that, where like, they say they're in a relationship, therefore they're going to mimic what they know of as a relationship in real life on the, internet.
But more so than any other game that I played before. I mean, and there's probably other games like this, but more so than other games. I literally walk into a room and I have someone that will come up to me, and like you have in almost real life, and they'll bring me to a side. Hey, I just wanted to say, have you talked to, say Stacy or whoever? Because, I'm trying to see, maybe she kind of likes, did she ever say anything about me? And this is happening in a video game. Exactly. This is happening in a video game. That's the part that blows my mind. Like this is, and I'm giving advice to an actual person who lives anywhere around the world. But imagine if your high school was networked in a way where, you could network anybody else in the world and talk to each other. And that's what's kind of happening here. It's not just people just having relationships like next door or in the same city or in the same town. These are people across the globe meeting up and talking with each other and starting relationships and actually having a boyfriend and girlfriend type of situation, which will definitely lead to the next thing I'll talk about afterwards. But romantically, that's the part that kind of blows my mind, that's a possibility. That's not really, I guess, a question statement there.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not like fully blown away by it in a way that like I can see how that happens. I mean, if you go, I mean, even just a normal game, right? Where you have a character that you pick out and you have to follow a specific storyline, but you get to try to choose the, what happens and the actions and where you go and
Mass
where that
Effect
character goes.
Is one that's like beating on my head on that one.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, but you have choices sometimes. There might be multiple endings based upon the choices that you make. All of that is leading up to this as well. Even Facebook. I mean, you're on a social media site. Not all those people in real life, but you get to know them, you communicate with them, and maybe you don't ever really get to know who they truly are. But really, do you ever truly know who your friends are, even people you know in real life?
That is probably the truest statement on there that I think you've said by far. Now, I want to also put the note on this. I'm the hardware guy. I love hardware. I love monitors. I want best mouse. I want all that. You are the social media queen. So I can see why you're not surprised about this. Like, you live on social media.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm on social media all the time for work, and, and I'm constantly, I am not one of the people that tends to communicate like with the other people unless I'm doing it for my job, but still, that's not me communicating with them. That's me doing it through a business, but yeah, I'm not one of those, but I am definitely I guess I could be called a cyber stalker or social stalker. I don't know what you call it. But
social stalking, that new word.
I do not click on the links, but I will go read the comments. And I love reading the comments. And people are insane. I swear.
Okay, give me one.
Oh my God, I don't even know where to begin with that. Okay, so there's this really cute video of a boy I watched today where his dad travels around the country, and so his dad was traveling somewhere else, and so this boy knew hey, I'm gonna press my Ring doorbell and my dad's gonna answer, and so the dad answered the Ring doorbell, and the son is there. Dad, hey, and he's all like, oh, Dad, what channel do I go to? And so, the dad in a completely different, state is having a conversation with his little boy about this and stuff. So really cute, right?
Yes.
Nothing wrong with it. Adorable. The mom was over at a neighbor's house, and the boy was there, but the mom had eyes on him and all this fun stuff, and really cute interaction. The boy was kissing the doorbell thing because the video, and I love you, Dad, and so cute and sweet. Yeah, until you go read the comments. Oh my God, that horrible mom, she's probably screwing the neighbor. And, who's this Stacy? I'll use your Stacy. And it's probably the sister or sibling or something, right?
I feel like these are some scorned women.
Somebody should call child services. They're leaving that, little cute little boy alone and stuff like that. And seriously,
okay,
people.
So you're surrounded with a team of social justice warriors. But it is social media, so I guess that is to be expected.
I know, but yeah, you get the people that are like, oh, that's so cute, and oh man, I wish my child would do that, or whatever. But still, it was just it's seriously, how does anybody look at that and go oh my God, these horrible people?
I can imagine what they probably. I couldn't even fathom.
Obviously, that boy loves his dad very much and misses him, and it was adorable.
Yeah, I know. One day we'll do an episode on just about that whole work-life thing, but let's not do depressing stuff. Okay, now let's get to the nitty-gritty. We started off, I think, on.
So I guess where I was going with that, in a way, is
yes,
for people when they're in their online world or any world, we have different personas depending on who we're around.
Yeah,
some people are better at doing it than others. Even in real life, whether in real life or online, we, based upon, the other people, will usually change up how we act. I mean, when we go around our family, we're going to act a little different than, hey, when we're hanging out with our drinking buddies or something,
there's your friends and how you dress around your friends and how you dress around your family.
Yeah.
Depending on who you have, you may dress up for your family and down for your friends, or you may dress up for your friends and down for your family. It all depends on your persona, what you're pulling off at that time. And that makes sense. So everyone's their own unique avatar for each relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to act differently at a social gathering that's a barbecue versus one that's at, a formal function or something, You
hope.
That's why I said some people are better at it than others.
Yes.
But, still, whether that's in real life or online, we do that, and when it's online, it's to an extreme, because all of a sudden now you can have that anonymous thing, like, yes, okay, maybe you still are like, oh, hey, I'm Lucy, but is it really Lucy? You know, and it's not always a bad thing. Sometimes, a lot of times, like my comments that I was talking about where they were just being horrible.
You're in a different field, like, okay, we're talking about like putting the stuff I've seen in VR chat, and that was in a social media aspect. It would just be a fuel to the fire. Like, I hope that they just keep that away, because there's a lot to put there. But I definitely understand. Like, there's some aspects where that can just be.
I mean, there's always going to be. Yeah, there's always going to be the people that are going to take it to a horrible extreme.
Yeah.
And that's where I think that the policing kind of online thing needs to happen a bit more, because that shouldn't be okay. Bullying is bullying, and cyberbullying is a very real and bad thing.
Yes.
Anyhow.
Now, going from well, do you have any questions for anybody that maybe people would like to add in for your side?
I don't know.
No, okay, no questions. That made it simple. Leave it to the extrovert, to the introvert to ask questions. Okay, so here's the nitty gritty. I want to get to this portion of it. So, getting intimate, that moment. This part I've kind of found very interesting, especially in World of Warcraft, in VR chat, because you got, your version of ERP. ERP has been around for a while. Text-based games have played around with it a while. And for those who don't know what ERP is, do you know what ERP is?
No.
Okay.
I'm not a gamer.
Basically role-playing. So ERP.
Okay, well, I know what role-playing is.
Sensual role-playing, sexual role-playing, or something like that, or something of that nature.
Role-playing goes all over the board. I mean, you could be considered, if you're acting,
exotic
you're
role-play,
role-playing.
I think it is.
But yeah, there certainly are sexual role-playing is for sure a thing.
Okay. So on multiple occasions, I have seen where, and I'm just going to describe the situation. I'm not putting any judgment. So you social justice commenters, I don't want to hear it. Okay, just listen.
We don't have enough people listen to us to get that.
Very true. Please spread the word. But something that I've noticed is that you'll have two straight guys, and they're both in female avatars, and they are ERPing, socially role playing with their avatars with each other. And I can definitely say, like, that's not normal for me in any light, especially being new to gaming. I'm used to it because I've been playing it for a while, but it is definitely something where they kind of paint the situation. There's two guys. They're in a relationship only in VR chat. They have considered themselves to never, ever be in a relationship in real life, because that would be weird. That's what they think. And maybe so. But they do like their relationship as two, quote unquote, straight men as two female avatars who are dating in the game. A wild idea, I know. But where?
I still don't think it's that far-fetched. Now, I do understand socially where people are going to be like, say, what? That's crazy. And there are probably a lot of people I know that would be like, they're gay, and like, no, they're not.
No, they're straight.
No, I know.
They like ladies.
I'm just saying that there are a lot of people that we try to label everything, and I think it's stupid. I hate labels. I think labels are just separators. But the thing is, like, I can see how that happens, and it's been a slow progression to build to that. I mean, they're not, if they met each other in real life, maybe they'd be bros, but they wouldn't want to be with each other because they're not sexually attracted to another guy. That's why they're straight.
Exactly.
But when you're,
plus when you're playing as an avatar, I had to say you play as a different version of yourself.
Exactly. You're making a choice or a decision. You might not have like a function where, press X to choose this option, but you're still playing a game.
Yeah. I mean, Duke Nukem, come get some. That's you want to be that guy that's out there and shooting guns and stuff like that. That's his character.
The thing is, you log into VR chat or any other game, you go, you build your character, you create it, you put the clothes on it, you name this character, you at at this point, you have developed some kind of personality for this character, you know, and then you yourself take on this personality. Maybe it is a small part of your own personality, or maybe it isn't at all. You know, it again depends on the person. Like me, I put a little bit of my personality into every character I've ever played online.
Very true.
You know, that's the type of person I am. But not everybody's like that. Some of the people can very much disconnect themselves from this person, or, you know, this is just
like this guy.
Yeah. You know, I mean, when you play a character, you're playing a character. You're not. That's not you.
Yeah, I feel well, remember my one excuse, and I've said it before on the podcast, is that I enjoy playing female characters because if I'm going to be behind them, then, and this is, I guess, a very common excuse, but oh well, if I'm going to be behind a character the entire time, I want the view to be nice. That's so I don't feel
normally I pick a female character because I
it's
relate.
A reflection of you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I relate much more. And anytime I've played a male character, it's like really weird for me. You know, it's just I have a hard time picturing myself as that person. You know, and that's what I do. I mean, if I read books, you know, there are certain books I like to read because it's like I can picture myself as that character. You know, I'm that type of person. I put myself into that situation. I put myself into that character.
In that world.
Yeah. You know, and, you know, but not everybody is like that. So, you know, they're creating this character. They're creating this role. They're creating a movie or a game or, you know, whatever. It's a storyline. It's not them.
Yes,
you know?
it's a version of them. Or if you haven't. If you had a chance to wear a mask all your life and play a different character,
yeah,
why not choose that?
Again,
be that braver person that you want to be.
When you're anonymous, you're more likely to do things that you wouldn't do in real life.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you know, it just depends on what you're doing or how you're doing it.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, I mean, alcohol does that for people. You know, it kind of. They're still them, but it not like themselves. You know, there are things you would do when you're drunk that you wouldn't necessarily do when you're sober. You know, and you know, so I feel like this is just another form of that. And again, sometimes it could be a good thing, and sometimes it can be a bad thing. That's everything in life.
So going on to like the next part, probably the last half of this too. Now, there was more we talked about in the car, which I don't think we really need to get to here.
I would, whatever.
You want to?
No,
No, you don't. Okay, anyway, here's the thing. So let's say we go 20 years in the future. This is now something that's accepted by news. A different generation is pretty much out there.
I think it's going to take a lot more than 20 years to be accepted by the news.
Maybe they are freaking slow. Right. But what's the Ready Player One fantasy is kind of out there and alive. You can now get your full body exosuit. You still may have to go to work in a real job, but I'm guessing there'll be job opportunities.
They're already trying to integrate. You know, I mean, whether it was the Google Glass or anything, like they're trying to integrate our technology more so with our everyday life. I mean, honestly, I am perfectly fine with them doing that. Anything so that people can start paying attention to the real world instead of looking down at their phone while they're walking and running into things and driving. And I mean, I'm okay with giving me some glasses that I can still see what's going on because, you know, I can still see what's going on in the real world. Or, you know, like, yeah, where where there's a tree in real life, all of a sudden, maybe there's like, you know, a llama standing there or something in your VR world. I don't care. But either way, you see that and, you know, go around it.
Exactly. I want to expand on that, but I'm going to hold back on it. But now let's say like we get to a point where, you know, e-relationships are more acceptable. How would, let's say, I'm just going to make up a name. Let's say Kim over in Japan and you have Derek over here in the States. How would a marriage work? Could you imagine weddings in VR? Or that actually being like, you know, the next normal process, the next step, or full-on relationships? They can be intimate. They can have all the other stuff. We're looking about the future.
Again, this is exactly why I feel like the internet needs to be classified as its own world. You know, it needs to have its own rules, its own laws, and, you know, separate from what we have in the real world.
Okay, now what are you getting to? What are you getting to with this?
Well, because yeah, like if you have a marriage in, you know, the e-world, you know, how will that affect your real life, you know, life?
Yeah.
You know, those questions need to be asked and they need to be answered because we're coming up to it at freaking light speed. And it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
And I got a heavy hitter coming up soon.
I mean, we already see implications of things that, you know, are affecting our real life from in our cyber world. You know, I mean, talk about the revenge pictures kind of
revenge
thing.
Porn, yes.
Yeah, you know, I mean, this is a real problem.
And it doesn't have to be the person.
If somebody did that in real life,
deep fakes.
If somebody did that in real life, you know, printed out pictures and handed them off to a bunch of people, they would be in jail.
Yes.
But
correct.
instead, you can even trace it back to them digitally, and you can't do anything about it. That's insane.
To do it illegally will be less efficient than to do it legally. That's when you know the law is just broken. Like, yes. It's just it's completely broken.
It really
and
is.
And cheaper.
And honestly, I have no freaking idea how we can get to the point where we can do that with the real world, with the internet world. I mean, I have no idea.
You need to get smart people who definitely know what they need to do in power. And that's what I don't think is happening fast enough. And it could be the fact
that's never happened.
Wait. There's the reason why, because technology has ramped up, let's say, exponentially in speed. Within the last 10 years, a lot has happened. 10 years ago, it's been a different play ball game for the tech world. 10 years before that, different play ball, and you can continue on and on. The thing is, the people, let's say, like, even for our generation, for the level of knowledge and how everything is being expanding, people our age aren't in political power. Enough of us are not in political power because of how fast it's been rapidly growing. If there was more time, or this didn't expand so fast.
I mean, we're talking about our country too.
Our country, you know, I mean, actually, every country is that way. Because
it would help if we would freaking like make it so that, okay, well, when you get old, you can no longer serve. And you know,
yeah, I mean, but I guess I kind of, here's the heavy hitter too. Like when you mentioned, like, we need to have some kind of police on the net. And I've seen other countries that are going in a direction that is woefully scary. China, definitely. Yeah. Where, you know, your likes or people you like as friend can also hurt your
it needs to be separated
status
from any of the countries. That's what I mean. Like, it shouldn't be America ruling the internet. It shouldn't be China ruling the internet. It shouldn't be all of them having their little pieces of the internet. The internet really just needs to be its own freaking world.
His own social power, yes. Who can properly govern itself and make sure that certain things. Here's one I'm just going to throw out there, and I can see where people will not. They can. This can definitely go in extreme areas. Because here's what is happening today, and it's been happening for a while, and it's totally legal-ish. It's totally legal-ish. But since the online dating leaves you so anonymous when talking with people and conversing with people, something that is actively happening is there is a lot of underage dating amongst, you know, people, not two underage people I'm talking about. Someone dating outside their proper age bracket, knowingly or unknowingly. It happens from both sides, where the youngin will not admit their age. They can throw in any number that they want to, just so they can be within the cool crowd, because that's how the social economics kind of works, and it makes sense, even though that's not right. They find someone that has a really cute avatar, and they're talking.
Yeah, this
is something that I'm just saying here. It's one of those things that could blow up if we were bigger people.
The only real way, and I'm scared of what it would mean if this actually did happen, but at the same time, the only way to combat things like that is to take away the anonymous part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do anything online, they know who you are.
But then again, I think in a way, like, it brings so many areas. That's the only we can think of now.
Yeah.
But here's like what I think. Like, it would take, it could do more harm by policing it the wrong way.
Well, I mean, you do that in real life too. Like, certainly.
Exactly. How many times have we?
I don't like the idea of doing that because honestly, I mean, no country is great right now with all that. I mean, America not just America. Okay, Earth, the world, history, humans. You know, we are polluted with, you know, the horribleness of what we do when we get control over something.
Exactly,
I can only
yeah.
imagine what that means for the internet. But at the same time, though, we're not that great with policing ourselves either. So
Exactly.
it goes to show, you go online and, it's littered with people doing horrible things.
Maybe one day we'll do an episode on, and then maybe I don't even want to do one on it, but maybe one day we should, just so we can have a conversation. If we see it in the news where it's coming up where someone else wants to try to police the net, another extremist Ajit Pai or something like that, with his Reese's mug. But then I think we should do one maybe on if the internet was policed, this is what we see. And we're coming from people who are parents, people who've played video games and online games, have a history of it. I think we generally have a good idea of what people want to see from there that's policed and what people do not want.
I think the majority of people want to feel safe.
Yes.
And they want to know that
Safe
their
and free.
kids.
Safe and free.
Yeah. They want to know their kids are safe on there. I mean, it's
Safe for our kid.
But the thing is, like, if you didn't have a speed limit on a road, there'd be no way to know, like, what's okay and what isn't okay.
Yeah.
And right now, the internet is no speed zone. Like,
I'm like, okay, remember when we were, okay, if I could talk right. Remember when we were going to play a lot of times on World of Warcraft, and I remember there was one time, and now I'm sorry for people who don't play the game, but just kind of use your imagination. We're going through a dungeon, and we're doing really good. You're doing a really good job. We got this guy as a tank. He's just taking all the damage, doing a great job, and we as adults are just shooting the shit, just talking, just a bunch of just garbage that's coming out of our mouths, and we're just having fun. And then you know what's going to happen. The kid turns back. Okay, so I'm going to pull him to the left, and you guys just attack on the right. And the whole group was like, oh my God, what have we done? We polluted the kid. Like, oh my God, we said so much wrong here. There's so much wrong. Who knows? The kid is like 8 years old or whatever. We were just talking. And one thing I would say that probably would be nice, and I don't see many parents fighting against it, is not just having that age limit of are you of age? That's the weakest thing. Websites have it, adult sites have it. Are you 18? Yeah, if the kid wants to go in, he just clicks yes. He knows how this works. Mm-hmm. What you need is to have an actual way where you can kind of gate guard, and not just your install your kids protection that doesn't come standard on PCs or most profiles, but having a really good way of detecting. If you're of age, you're going to use the net. We have to know that you are this. Let's say it's tied to a school ID, tied to or maybe the kid has an ID like before a driver's license or something like that. Some way that we can flag. Okay, this kid who's on this line, at least it'll work some of the time. This kid doesn't need to play this game.
I mean, there's
or
always
play in a limited factor where they play with only their age.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be ways to get around it. I mean, you've got fake IDs, kids doing that to go get alcohol or whatever. I mean, it's always going to happen.
PCs on our profiles.
But does that mean that we shouldn't ID kids just because they might find a way around it?
Yeah, you would be helping a lot of situations.
History has shown that as long as people have been around, we need rules and laws and standards and what's okay and what isn't okay. And right now, the internet has none of that.
Well, we have things in place.
No. What happens is what we have is, okay, America's social, we have what's okay in America socially. And then people in, England have what's okay socially there. And people in India have what's okay socially there. But what's okay socially in each one of those places might be different than what's okay in another. And so that's not a bad thing per se.
Yeah, that's how their society works.
We don't know what is okay and what isn't okay, and there is no standard, there is no rule. There's just a bunch of different people with different ideas of what is okay and what isn't okay, all over the place.
And we also need protection for whatever that comes to be. My one thing about saying there is regulation out there, but it works in the wrong way, I'm just holding up my cell phone here. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's certain data limits and charges and stuff like that can happen if you go over. And that's what we see mostly that's regulated. It's how much money you have to pay to use it. Mm-hmm. That's the wrong target. That I think it is greedy, and in other countries they do it better. But that's where
I think that's my fear with the policing the world or creating
they need to pay
an
for the
internet world.
infrastructure.
Yeah, the scary part is if a company gets a hold of that. Screw freeness. You screw any being able to do something on there without having to pay a cent.
And what if they make the laws a little too hard? I mean, how could you imagine someone in power who they hate porn?
Yeah.
or maybe they just don't like a certain topic being discussed about themselves.
Well, again, China is, implementing things like that. So back to what our original topic was, and to wrap up.
We did talk about relationships, but oh my goodness, we got so political in this. But I think in a way it's hard not to because...
Well, I mean, I don't think we went political per se as to just, putting it out there that the internet needs something. Who knows what it is and who knows when the heck that's going to happen. But as it is right now, it's a broken system, and so, yeah, I mean, I think anybody can agree with it, with the fact that it's broken.
Yeah.
There is a lot of things that don't work on there right now. But going to our original topic of, whether you can have digital relationships, sure. I mean, it's a game, you can go have those digital relationships. It's disconnected from, who you are in real life in a way. Just try to be understanding that person is a person, and treat them like they are a real person.
And let's say this too. Okay, let's say like you're...
I think that's where the problem is. It's just there's no empathy on the internet.
Yeah. Or there's people who they feel like it, like they like this person, like they really do like this person, but there is that anxiety, and I've seen it a few times, where they're not sure they should talk to the person. Something that you see similar in real life, and just because this is a game, and why would I want to do that? Like, you know what? Why not? Life is short.
You don't know where you're going to meet the person that you like.
Exactly. It may be a weird relationship, but if this weirdness makes you happy, you're better off being weird and being also normal any day.
If you don't take a chance, like the worst that can happen is they are like, "Hey, I don't like you like that." All right, end of story. We're done.
Exactly.
Right, we can be friends or whatever, or not.
You still have all multiple platforms to try it again. Real life is now just one of them, and I think that's where we should end it off. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to our much longer podcast. Almost feel like we should just talk for just 5 more minutes just to get a full hour in. Actually, after I do this more in post, we'll hit that. We'll definitely hit that. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, take it easy.